Hi guys, I'm Ren, better known online as Renyan. A while back I asked you guys to give me some questions that you guys have been wondering about, and I would pick some of my favorites and I would answer them. A lot has happened since then, so this video ended up getting put off, but here we finally are. So I'm about to answer the internet's most burning questions for Renyan. Tape0230 asked, what are your wishes for the future of CS, and do you even have fun playing CS anymore? Specifically grinding Premier. This is a hard question to answer. I think the big thing for me is that I wish for less updates with skins, and I want them to like bunker down, figure out the anti-cheat, and I want them to recapture the feeling of CSGO more than the game does today. In videos and streams, I know I complain a lot, and I know most people are sick of hearing me complaining, but I hope people understand that it comes from a place of frustration because we had CSGO. So we know how good the game can be, but it isn't. And it's been 2 years and they have all these resources available. They make all this money from the game, and it's just frustrating to see the game you love devolve into something lesser. If you go back through my archives of hundreds of CSGO videos, you can never hear me complain about anything game related. I would never complain about cheaters because I didn't really meet them in CSGO, even when I played matchmaking. I hated one-way smokes more than most people, but it wasn't something that for me it was worth ranting about because it was like anti-fun gameplay. One guy knew a smoke that lined up in a way that he could take a fight and no one could see him. It's like stupid, but it's not something I would rant about. If I saw a smoke that looked weird, I would just leave the angle. I firmly believe that networking difference makes what you see and what happens on the server very desynced in CS2, which is why people don't stand still holding angles anymore. Everyone is always moving off and back and off and back an angle. I think running inaccuracy is too mild for rifles and pistols and some SMGs. Jumping inaccuracy is way too mild for MP9 and MAC-10. And because of all of these things, the deagle, the AWP, the USP on angles has lost so much of their power, and that's a shame. I think it's a very unhealthy direction the game is heading in, and I hope they fix it. I think most people in 2025 would agree that right now, the Glock is better than the USP, and that's like the first time it's ever been the case, and it's just because it's so good while running. Even the USP is pretty good while running, but if you're a CT, you want to hold angles, you don't want to run back and forth. If I have fun playing the game, the sad answer to the question is not really. The people I meet during the games make it fun to play, not the game itself anymore. Not like it used to. So I hope we get the consistent and rewarding and fun gameplay back like we used to have, and if not, then who knows what the future holds for CS and for me and for a lot of people around it. China Sir asked, who's your favorite non-CS content creator on Twitch and or YouTube? On Twitch, I don't really have one anymore. I used to lurk Twitch all the time, but I kind of stopped. My old favorite Twitch streamer was definitely Whoops. He's an incredibly good entertainer. I love his content. As for YouTube, it's Super Eyepatch Wolf. Hands down. The man single-handedly got me into the WWE with his Unreality of Pro Wrestling series. He makes video essays about the most obscure shit you've never heard of, from Is the Simpsons Good Again to the world of fake video games, and every video is a banger. He's one of those rare YouTubers where I will set aside time to watch him on my TV and I'll leave my phone in a different room. Like, it's an experience, and that's not something I can say for a lot of YouTubers. I absolutely love his videos. Also, his merch is cool as fuck. XD Astra asked, for the amount of hours you played, not much, like 6k hours, you were in the top 0.1% of FACEIT player. Top 0.01% of FACEIT players, actually. Whereas many players with double your hours barely scraped 3 kilo. What would you say made you so good at the game with that little time? I got a boost going into the game. After I stopped playing with my IRL friends who weren't that good, I kind of befriended and started playing with people way better than me. So I got to FACEIT and I hit level 8, 9 on my own accord. I met better players and I played with them and I saw what they were doing and I learned from that, and I saw what the enemies were doing that was destroying me and I learned from that. When you play with better players in general, your learning is accelerated. That's just how it works. If I'm gonna give myself credit for one thing though, my mind is always working on improvement, which is something that a lot of my IRL friends hate because they will be casual players, and I'm that one friend who will say, hey, if you played this differently, this would be the outcome. And they're just trying to chill after they're 95, you know what I mean? I'm that asshole in my friend group, but it's not something I do because I need people to play optimally. It's just that's how my brain works, and that's how every single round my brain will be like, that's a mistake, you should have done this instead. And I would do that with myself every single round I played. Even if I won a 1 versus 5, I would go, I would have won this easier if I did this instead of what I did. Do that for long enough, be harsh on yourself for long enough, blame yourself for the most amount of things you can, and you'll win a lot of games. Bonnie asked, what was your inspiration for your mascot and avatar? Long-time viewers of Twitch will know this answer, but for the YouTube frogs, this might be something new for you guys. So, the simple answer is this. Long before I ever streamed myself, I would watch Twitch here and there, and I didn't like the default emotes Twitch gave you, like the weird white smiley guy. At some point in time, I came across a streamer named Mendo, or Mendo Kusai at the time, and his emotes, I just loved. I like gravitated towards them. I really liked them. So I subscribed to him without ever watching his stream, and I was subbed to Mendo for over 2 years without ever watching his stream, just for the emotes. Which is really funny now, because while I was in NA, I actually queued into Mendo, and we played a game together, and I got to tell him this, and he was laughing his ass off at it. When I started streaming myself, I wanted a mascot character, because back then, emotes were very simple. It was your face doing whatever. I was a faceless streamer, and I didn't want my face on the emotes, so I just figured, you know what, I'm gonna do what Mendo did. I'm gonna have a mascot character, so I created Mikan, and we had version 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now the current one is version 5 of Mikan. That's the one we're gonna stick with. That's kind of become my brand. And a lot of people wonder, Ren, are you transgender? Do you think of yourself as the mascot character? No. I am a 2 meter tall, 2 meter wide white man. I don't see myself as my character, nor am I transgender or wondering about my pronouns. Just a mascot character. No Echimento asked, what was your old job? I have worked so many jobs before I became a streamer. I'm one of the few streamers I know that has actually have like a lot of real life experience working different jobs. My first job I got when I was 15. I worked in an electronics store. So I started out in the register, and then I ended up selling different kinds of like electronics, like phones, PCs, cameras, headsets, you name it. If it was there for sale, I would sell it. I ended up working full time when all my friends went to university, and I would also work full time and part time while I was going to university myself. And I've worked in retail, as I mentioned. I moved on to healthcare, taking care of the mentally disabled for a while. I worked as traveling marketer for a business school. I worked in cold calling for insurance sales. I worked in finance. I worked a ton of jobs. And then in the end, I developed insomnia. I've been in treatment for that for the last 10 years of my life. And the insomnia took me out of the ability to work a normal 9 to 5. And it actually is what caused me to go into streaming. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm a YouTuber today. It's because of insomnia. Life takes you to weird places. Schizo Pastawazer asked, how did you start streaming? What was the biggest motivation? The biggest motivation was initially getting my own emotes, because I was spending $5 a month on Mendo's emotes, and back then I'd got my insomnia diagnosis and I didn't really have $5 to spend on anything every month except for my phone bill, right? I figured, you know what, I'm gonna start streaming. I'm gonna stream for a while. I'm gonna unlock emote slots, and I'm gonna have my own emotes, and I'm gonna be happy with them. I think that was kind of a lie to myself, because I kind of wanted to try streaming, and I ended up trying streaming to get out of my comfort zone, because I was suffering from really bad anxiety at the time, and I was kind of worried about that going into university again. I did streaming as a way to try to challenge my anxiety and get out of it. And then it turned out to be really fun, and I quickly built a fun community of people I love. My stream went from 10 to 60 viewers within the first month. Within 2.5 months, 3 months, we could apply for Twitch partnership. After streaming for half a year, we hit Twitch partner, and since then I've just been a streamer, I guess. The idea was never to be a full-time streamer or a content creator. It was kind of something I was doing for fun next to university, and when I was done with uni, I was gonna go into a full-time job doing finance or whatever. But when my final exams rolled around, my stream was doing good enough and I was making enough money where I could be like, hey, maybe this is something I should try out full-time. So here I am. Lim Jim asked, what's your favorite part about the community you've built, and do you have a favorite moment from a stream or event that sticks in your memory? Much love from the big dumb United States. I love my chat, and I love my chatters, and I love my community. If not for my chat and community, I would have quit CS2 a long time ago. My chatters is what keeps me coming back. They are the funniest bunch of idiots on any CS community, and my favorite part, as sappy as it probably sounds, is just getting to interact and talk with people on the daily. Even on days I don't stream, I'm usually somewhere in offline chat or my Discord server or working on something. My favorite stream or event, it's probably the win challenge me and Dima did, where we beat CS2, Fortnite, Roblox, and Minecraft in one stream. I was losing my fucking mind playing Minecraft, but it was a good time. It was good content. IRL streaming in Austin, Texas, and in Katowice was for sure also a highlight. Kausidas CS asked, how did you come to want to be a YouTuber streamer? How did your parents react when you wanting to do something like that and not a real job like electronics technician? Did your parents support you on this path or not really? As mentioned before, I worked a lot of real jobs in my life and I've always been good at everything I've done. I know ego, but I've always performed well at my workplaces. My dad is a high achiever. My mom as well. My father was the CFO, so the chief financial officer for a fairly big building company for 10 years. And then he became the CEO and chairman of a massive marine harvesting company for almost 20 years before retiring. And my dad's always been incredible at everything he's done. My mom as well was a great nurse, highly educated, if anything, a bit overeducated for the positions in the workplace she took. And she had to quit working for health reasons and to take care of her children, which was me and my sister. Growing up, my parents were never supportive of my gaming, not as a kid or as an adult. They've always believed that I would land on my feet. They've always believed that whatever I aim for in life, I will achieve and figure out. And since I started doing streaming as a business, my folks have supported me completely. I still remember the first day when I showed my dad like the books of my company for like the past year, and he was like, wow, this is actually a career. He was blown away by it. So today, in 2025, they're very proud of my achievements, but they were definitely worried I was playing too much growing up and into my adulthood. Guitar Solos 89 asked, I would like to know more about you, who you were before CS and Twitch. As a musician, I could tell you have a great voice. Do you sing or play instruments? Please let us know about Lil Ren before your upcoming. I picked up the guitar when I was a kid because I thought it would make me popular with the girls, but then I promptly quit when I realized I had to do guitar lessons. I was very quickly disillusioned by the guitar. As for my singing, it is very simply me listening and copying what I hear. I enjoy singing. I think it's fun. It makes me feel good. I sing loudly in every single shower I take, in every single car ride where I'm alone, sometimes when I'm with people, if they're like of the same mind, I just enjoy singing. As for Lil Ren, when I was a kid, I was kind of a whirlwind. I was everywhere. Tried everything. I was extremely social. I had a lot of friends, believe it or not. I played football as a goalie. I then tried wrestling, like with the horrible one pieces and the sweaty mats. I learned to play golf with my dad. I did a lot of cross-country skiing with my dad. And then when we got our first PC in the house, I quickly became a gamer with my friends. And then after that, my gaming life ended when I got my first job and my first girlfriend. I was back when I was 15. Growing up, I kind of breezed through school without any effort at all. From elementary to university, this was kind of always the case. And in my later education, I would have a job, I would volunteer, I would play American football, and I would party twice a week next to my education. I was the guy that had more hours in every day than most people could wrap their head around. I was never exhausted. I'm always very happy when life is busy. And then all of it came crashing down when my sleeping issues escalated and I got insomnia. And the kind of high-speed life that I always led kind of grind to a halt. And it really impacted me deep down, like mentally, because I lost my sense of self and I didn't know who I was anymore. Getting insomnia, not functioning like I used to, I felt like a hostage to my condition and I became super depressed. I considered the worst outcome for a while. Luckily, my story didn't end like that because I got the help I needed from my friends, my parents, and psychologists. And yeah, that's my life until now, pretty much. You guys know the story on how I started streaming already. So in the end, we're kind of all a result of our lives and our ups and downs and all the things that happened to us. Without all my experiences before, I wouldn't be the guy I am today. When life closes a door on you, usually a different one will open. So for me, my sleeping issues kind of had me redefined my route in life, and I found a new one, and that's something millions of people have had to do before me. So yeah, if anyone that is watching this video right now is having a hard time, just stick it out, try new stuff, be open to life, and you might stumble into your calling. It might be something you never thought you were gonna be. Silent Juno asked, what would your job be if you weren't a YouTuber? I would love to have a job that is high pressure, high pace, and has me moving around a lot. My dad worked as a CEO for a long time, traveled to a lot of countries, a lot of factories, conducting business meetings, being part of high stakes negotiations, that kind of stuff. In my work life, I think I've always had a good head for business, and I'm told by people in real life that I'm great with people. So I think I would do something similar to my old man. Like I would love to try to do something something similar to my father. Quandale Dingle asked, you always say that damage prediction makes the game playable. Can you explain? Because I have it off because of the fake dinks. Always piss me off, but I might try to turn it back on if you have a good reason. The short version is very simple. If you want to kill a target and move on to the next one, your only option is, or at least was, to play with prediction enabled. In high elo, the difference between like getting a kill and moving to your next target, it's like 20 to 60 milliseconds, depending on when you get the feedback that your target died without prediction. And those 20 to 60 milliseconds is the difference between you shooting another bullet because you didn't get the feedback you needed and already moving on to the next guy, right? It is frustrating when you get the fake dinks, but if you're holding an angle and you need 3 one-taps with the USP to kill everyone that's coming at you, prediction is kind of the only way to go about it right now. With that said, as of this video coming out, I've just turned it off because I'm gonna see if I still have that opinion. So ask me again on a future YouTube video. Flex Game Studio asked, what job field would you have wanted to pursue if it wasn't for streaming and content creation? I kind of already answered this in the comment section, so I'm gonna tell you instead what I'm planning to do when I'm done with content creation. At some point, I'll probably stop streaming CS and I'll start doing variety content. Whether or not I can be successful in variety, that kind of remains to be seen. The simple truth is I'm not gonna be playing Counter-Strike forever. At some point, I'm gonna grow tired of the game, or people watching are gonna grow tired of me, right? Sooner or later, we have to redefine ourselves or we become dinosaurs, and I don't want to become a dinosaur. Now, whether I become a variety streamer or not, at some point that's gonna end too. And before my content creation journey is done, I want to have started an agency and I want to broker sponsorship deals on behalf of streamers and YouTubers and other creators like that. Out of all of my friends in streaming, I'm the only one that has real life experience when it comes to this business aspect of things. I've worked in finance, I've worked in brokering and negotiating deals with other people. I've negotiated salaries, studied contract clauses. I have a background in finance and tax law and marketing. A lot of these things is something most streamers have no idea how to do or where to begin with. So I would love to start a business helping them do that. And obviously the business would make its money by taking a certain cut. So whenever I leave streaming behind, I'll probably try to help people out with business deals like I'm already doing now for some of my streamer friends for free. The reason I'm thinking of the job is I would kind of be my own boss. I would be working on my own time. My sleep issue would not be a problem there either. And I would get to work with a lot of new people in an ever-changing work environment. It would be interesting. Urban Isco asked, why are you a weeb? Simple answer is I found anime fun growing up. I grew up in the era of Cartoon Network and Toonami on our TVs here in Norway. The first ever anime I watched was one called Outlaw Star on my parents' then massive TV. We had a really big TV for the time. Outlaw Star, for me growing up, was one of those shows that was definitely like too adult for me to understand as a kid, but it was cool because I was watching something that kind of felt illegal, and it was an entirely new world of media that I had never experienced before, and it like kind of captivated me. So since then, I became interested in anime. I was a closet anime watcher for a long time. I ended up realizing that if you love something, if something is like really interesting to you, you shouldn't hide it. You should kind of like you don't have to make it your entire personality. And I think some people think that that's what I have, but I think that's also people not familiar with me or my content as a whole. I think you should wave that flag because it brings to you like-minded people. It brings to you people you can talk with about the things you love, and that's what makes life good. That's the spice of life, bro, when you can share interests and share passions and share love with people. I don't really buy into the whole anime is something you should be ashamed of. I see it becoming more and more mainstream every year. Every one of us grew up on Pokemon and we thought that was dope, so I don't really understand why people are tripping so much about it. Some parts of anime can definitely be weird, but anime is a medium. You get out of it what you put into it. If you look for weird stuff, you're gonna find weird stuff. If you look for cool shit, you're gonna find cool shit. So be open in life, my friends. Be open. What was it like to see Anomaly almost butt-ass naked hanging upside down? For those of you who don't know what this references, it's when we went to Copenhagen. Our group went to this suspended hindrance track where we had to do these team exercises going through some stuff. I ended up not doing it because I have really bad knees and ankles, so I was cameraman for the boys, and Ludde ended up falling off of the platform he was on, and his harness came undone and it dragged his pants up. Gravity brought his t-shirt down, so he was was hanging upside down like a butchered pig. It is still the funniest thing I think I've ever seen in real life to this day. I was laughing for hours afterwards. Big shout outs to Ludde, dude. The guy is such a creature. He's a marketing genius. He was hanging upside down and he still had the wherewithal to shout out the sponsor. And funnily enough, the sponsor was really upset that he did that because they were like, yeah, we don't want to be associated with a guy hanging upside down naked, which is unbelievable to me. Eddie56 asked, why aren't you signing with any pro team? First of all, I'm gonna get this out of the way. A lot of the time I see people saying like, hey, Ren would do well in pro CS, Ren would do this in pro CS. I would do horribly bad in pro CS. I'm under no illusion. I'm a great pug player. I can solo carry most pug teams. I can climb to a really high rating on FACEIT if I really fucking wanted to. I don't really want to. And the reason is simple. I've never been interested in Team CS. For all of my time playing CSGO and CS2, I have never played in a team. It's not something that captivates me. Pro CS is probably super satisfying when you win, but for me, the most fun part of Counter-Strike or even any game is playing solo and bending the game to your will. That's what makes games fun for me. So if you play unconventionally in a way that shouldn't work, which for me is the perma plus W key, perma aggression, it's fun to just solo carry a game like that. Also, I have my career in Counter-Strike through streaming and YouTube. If you are starting out as a pro, the pro CS doesn't pay like good at all unless you're like making majors, unless you're winning tournaments, unless you're at the top pretty much. To get there, you have to work insanely hard. You have to have thousands of hours practicing, meeting, content shoots, traveling, playing qualifiers. It is frankly more work, more traveling, more time away from home for less money than I make now. Why would I do that? I'm not interested and I don't have the effort. It always feels weird to say this though, because a lot of people just doesn't accept this answer and they treat it as if every single streamer, YouTuber, whatever is dreaming about being pro. It's just not. Different people have different passions and mine has never been team-oriented Counter-Strike. Benza2K asked, why don't you stream with Facecam, but when IRL streaming, you show your face? Very simply, it's a comfort thing for me. I've never hid my face. Or my identity, really, which is kind of funny to me because still to this day, the top search for renyan is face reveal. I enjoy getting to go on stream and being a gremlin and just not think about how I look and not be self-conscious at all. So a while after recording all of these answers for this video, me and Dima traveled to Riyadh for EWC. While in Riyadh, we were streaming on co-streamer setups and we were using cams to stream. And to my surprise, I was actually feeling quite comfortable with the cameras. So since I recorded these answers, I bought the same camera that I used in Riyadh and we will be doing facecam streams from now on. So if you want to come look at me, at my face, make fun of me on Twitch, you know where to find me. Super Tech Priest asked, are you planning to stream other games at some point? Because I really enjoyed the chill atmosphere when you did the song contests and all, where you weren't tilted. And I think that if you play some nice indie games, not especially PvP, it would be nice. Definitely. This year, I'm going to try my best. I say this every year though, so I'm sorry if it doesn't actually happen. But this year, I'm going to try my best to get more into variety stuff. IRL streaming. We're traveling a lot this year, me, Dima, and Propinator. I'm even planning on converting the more renyan channel into a full-fledged variety channel. I'll always do Counter-Strike streams and I'll always do Counter-Strike videos, but I'll probably start to do more variety at the tail end of streams, just do other stuff. Whenever we end up watching reels or we do a song contest or we do non-Counter-Strike content on the stream, it's always a good time. So hey, I'm gonna try to give you guys more of that. Siberia Key asked, how did you come up with your playstyle? Was it someone from the pro scene who inspired you or just a they'll never see it coming mindset? To be honest, this is gonna sound stupid, but I hate learning grenades. I hate learning smokes and lineups. To me, it feels the most like homework out of any way of playing the game. You know what I mean? And I'm very big on you should play games to have fun. I always avoided things where I had to like sit down on an offline server and memorize patterns. Like, it's not interesting to me. So instead, I kept winging my nades and I found effective strategies where I was winging my nades. And it just kind of built into this silly playstyle I have. The aggressiveness in my playstyle comes from preferring to force a fight on my own terms rather than waiting for my enemies to force a fight on their terms, and then I feel like I'm at a disadvantage waiting for them. To give myself some creds here, I think I'm really good at adapting to things quickly. I think I'm good at outplaying people. So I thrive more in a chaotic game than most people do. So I try to force that chaos down people's throat. I try to force people to be uncomfortable. And when they start countering me, I try to figure out how to counter the counter. And this mind game that comes out of it is the most fun and rewarding thing for me playing Counter-Strike, so I enjoy forcing it to happen. I also think my strengths as a CS player isn't my aim, but my ability to read tendencies and preemptively abusing what I think my enemies are gonna do in response to my threats. I see people talk about my aim and my pre-aim. I really don't think they're anything special, especially not for my level of play. So I think it's more my mind that I'm using, and I'm trying to use my mind to my advantage. Rhyme Shen asked, as a 2.5k elo FACEIT enjoyer with 20 average and 141 KD, how can I untilt myself when I get tilted in pugs? Should I take the IGL role if things are going wrong? I just want to grind to 3k elo. So, first of all, your stat drop is fucking crazy. I get what you're saying and what you're hinting at, and I'm sure you feel like you deserve to win more with the stat line you're giving me. I can tell immediately, though, that you probably get frustrated at losses more than you should. You can have a great KD in kills, but low impact. That's something that a lot of people have, and they think they deserve more. And everyone thinks they have impact because they see what they put in, but a lot of people don't. The only constant in your own games is yourself. So as long as you yourself are improving, whether you win or lose a game is of no consequence, and you shouldn't really care about it. You should focus on improving, focus on finding faults with your own gameplay, no matter how well you played. If you win a 1 versus 5, instead of celebrating it, try to analyze what moments of that 1v5 win was badly played by you, and how could you have played it cleaner. You kill 4 out of 5 on a rush, figure out what change would have let you kill all 5. If you're always like kind of criticizing yourself, you're always learning. And when I was going to 4,400 elo in CSGO, this is what I was doing every round of every match, no matter how dominant I was playing. It also removes the pressure of winning, because winning isn't what you care about anymore. It's improving, and as long as you're improving, winning comes on its own. So if you get more skilled, the number will follow. So don't worry about the number. Don't worry about grinding to 3k elo. Worry about becoming worthy of 3k elo, and the 3k elo will come on its own. What does a day in the life look like for our dear Renyan? I appreciate you, gamer. Thank you for the copious amounts of CS2 content to enjoy in times of food consumption. Originally, my first response to this was very boring. I was saying, wake up, cook breakfast, read my email, and do bookkeeping for my company. Upload YouTube videos, go for a walk, and then shower before stream. Nowadays, it is wake up early, immediately go to the gym, run, exhaust myself, talk to my parents for a little bit, shower, do my self-care, and then stream. And then I eat in the afternoon, evening, and then I try to get to bed early. And then sometimes in this mess, I'll spend some time with the homies like Dima and Propinator, Journey and Arrow. And yeah, I've started trying to live a healthier lifestyle since I first wrote this script. Stefan asked, what's your biggest life regret so far? This one's easy for me. It's not being open to the opportunities that come my way in life. I've always believed I have all the answers, and the older I've gotten, the more humbled I've become, realizing that I've turned down a lot of cool opportunities, and I've turned down a lot of things I shouldn't have. For anyone listening, my personal experience is that the best parts of life, they happen outside your comfort zone almost every time. Just simply saying yes to more things more often would have served me so well in my younger years. And it's definitely something I'm trying to do more of now. There is so much cool shit you can do, so many cool people you can meet. Learn and see. Don't stay in your bubble. Just go. Just do things. Try to be curious, not judgmental, and life is just better that way. So those were the questions I picked out. I hope this is an interesting video. If you guys have any more questions, you can ask them in the comment section. I'll probably respond to some of them. Thank you guys for watching. Love y'all. Mwah.